Can anyone around here speak basketball?
There it is.
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast. I am the host, Freddie Rivas.
I'm producer Matt Duncan. How is everyone? Good.
Yes, good. We're good, right? Matt, the intro sounds a little less tinny. Did you square it up?
I think you're just getting used to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if my ears are generally start by hearing more tin.
Maybe you have a taste for tin now.
Yeah, maybe I do, you son of a bitch. We got a new guest, a longtime friend, and we got a returning guest, super longtime friend from high school, actually. Way back. Let's bring in our newbie old buddy from LA, super big Raptor fan. Give it up for Jason DeRosse.
Oh, I love it. I'm done by the 16 bits. It's great.
Was that cool for you, or like I did picture you?
It made me
doing
feel
stuff.
like I'm so old, so I was like, yeah, this is great. This is my generation. This is great.
Nice. I pictured you kind of mostly like doing chores like really fast.
That is what I'm doing that right now.
Good. Okay, well let's bring on number two. Known him since high school. Super funny dude. Give it up for Matt Alexander Henry.
How's it going?
I don't remember this song. Was this his song?
Yeah.
That might be my favorite actual track.
Feel like a heel pro wrestler.
Yeah.
Down. I feel I was going to get booed, but the good boos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, this guy is about to.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna boo this guy, but oh man, wouldn't it be cool if he defied us still?
Yeah, it sounded like I'm way muscular than I really am, and I'm not as buff as that song suggests.
You know what? Let's get this baby cracking. I don't know if you guys have been on the pod since we started this new segment, but it's a fun one. Matt tries to surprise me. He often does. Sometimes he falls totally
real flat.
Sometimes you fall totally flat, but sometimes you hit like a mash, like a huge home run.
Yeah.
So let's see how you do. Matt, tell me something I don't know about Nico de Colo.
Nico de Colo. So he last played for the Raps very briefly in 2014.
I know that.
Did you know that they still own his rights?
I do.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
That he was just qualified in June by the Raptors.
Yeah, they've held on to his rights for a couple years now.
So he plays in Europe, and he's apparently pretty good out there.
Yeah, I know. He's killing. He was. I think he was. He wasn't a EuroLeague MVP, but he won some type of award, right?
Yes. And he drew a lot of comparisons to Manu Ginobili.
Yes,
Do you know, they both have the same kind of upbringing,
Matt,
from a small town. Okay,
I know all this.
I got something coming that's hot. Okay,
this last nugget better be huge, dude.
Did you know he is a self-proclaimed Friends fan? The TV show has all the DVDs and knows it off by heart. Cheers.
Okay, by the way, Matt just said cheers and basically got up and walked out of his own house.
Yeah,
not really, but you're pretty proud. Can I give you a 7 out of 10?
Sure, yeah.
Because in the end, that's a nugget. That's a Friends nugget.
I mean, you could ask Nando, be like, could you play season 6, episode 3? And he'll just say the whole thing to you.
Really?
Yeah, he loves Friends.
Okay. Okay, that's all right.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, right?
You know what? It might be easier to impress the guests, but I expect a lot. Okay, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't.
I would have been pretty impressed.
Okay, let's get this baby going. Matt, why don't you give me that Raptor sting?
#RTZ.
We the North.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Hammered you with 3.
Wow.
I loaded that one.
Yeah, that was 3 sound bites.
Yes.
I hope you're proud of yourself. You know what? I don't know if it's like sad, but I think I'm used to all the sound effects. Like I don't have, any more anger or anything.
That's how I break you down.
Yeah, you broke me down, man. Speaking of accumulative breaking down and long time wearing on something, Vince Carter, the infamous Vince Carter to all Raptors fans, scored 25,000 points, which is pretty elite. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's a club of like 22, maybe 23 guys.
Yeah.
So whatever way you slice it, it's insane. And obviously he did it in super dramatic fashion. I was actually watching the Atlanta broadcast, and they were like, "Oh, just let him score. Just let him score." Like, no. And I was happy that we kept trying, and then the foul happened, and he didn't get the three, and he got it on a dunk. And I also really like that he didn't pretend like it didn't matter. It clearly was a really big deal, and I think the Atlanta reporter was like, "I'm really excited. Hopefully you can get to 30,000."
Yeah.
And Vince was like, "Nah, that's not going to go down." He was very much like, that's why I'm so happy. This is like almost the end for me.
It's pretty good that he did that. You know what I mean? Because and for me, it's like a real credit to like LeBron. You know what I mean? Like LeBron came and just surpassed a lot of guys.
He did.
I'm like, obviously it's cool. It's Vince.
Yeah.
We all love him.
How does it make you feel?
Good for you. Yeah. And I'm happy that you did it. But it's like, how good is LeBron really? Where he
this Vince achievement just makes you like immediately like, honestly, cheers, Vince, but holy shit, LeBron's great.
How come he
I do that a lot, in all fairness, like,
and just scooted past you, bro, like no problem.
Yeah.
I know there's more games and so on and so forth, but it's like I feel LeBron did it really, really fast. Vince is 40.
I love that you're answering. No, it's true. It's actually a good point. Like it's pretty easy to be, constantly reminded that LeBron is insane and has a lot of people thinking he's the GOAT.
I'm happy Vince is still playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's great. He's like going to the Y, and I feel like if he were to stop, then he'd, like deteriorate immediately.
Yeah,
because this is
sure.
what he needs to do.
Jason, how did that Vince 25,000 career landmark how did it make you feel?
Land? Well, it's
I know I said landmark and I'm like, that's the wrong word.
It's still right. No, that's fair. It reminded me of John Stockton a lot. I'm totally kidding.
Yeah, I was like, okay, go on.
I was just like, oh, Vince Carter reminds me of LeBron. Oh, reminds me of Stockton. It's like, no, Vince Carter for me, for this one, it was like, it kind of was, it really reflected who Vince was for me, because I know it's really divisive in Toronto a little bit. Some people are still on the like, I'll never let go of this grudge. And then other people are like, no, we love him. Yeah. So it's like, I'm still kind of holding on to the grudge.
Or are you a grudge?
Not in a bad way.
Matt, are you
a little bit? Not
me too.
Are you both grudge guys?
Too. Yeah,
Matty D. Are you a grudge guy?
You know what? I don't think it's fair for me to say that
to be a grudge guy
because I didn't experience it like you guys did. I'm a post Vince.
I'm a weird half grudge.
Yeah,
like I have all these little stipulations. I'm like, okay, make a mural. Or not make a statue outside, don't hang his jersey. And people are like, what does that mean? And I'm like, I don't know. But here, that's how I feel about Vince.
Yeah, don't hang it. Yeah, put the statue in a corner somewhere. Like, don't put it too far out.
Yeah,
front.
that would be cool. You know what I mean? Like, all the weed smokers can go, and it's like basically like an elbow dunk corner. The statue would give them refuge. You know? That's a big part of like trying to like rally the crowd outside. You know what I mean? Like, give the smokers somewhere warm, somewhere safe, somewhere to cheer. You know what I mean? Jason, I'll wait. Does anyone have anything else on Vince? Jason?
Well, I was going to say the reason why, like, I was like, it's kind of divisive. Is like this is kind of how I felt back in the day too. It's like I never hated Vince Carter. I felt like we were all more like disappointed parents. We're all like, we know you can do better, and you're not. And then it kind of all encapsulated when he did the when he won the dunk competition. It was like massive dunk, and then for his very last thing, Shaq jumps up and everyone's like, "Oh my god, he's going to do a 720 dunk from the foul line!" Yeah, and then he just does this like two-handed from almost the foul line dunked. It wasn't even close to the foul line, actually. Everyone goes, oh, yeah, that's good, I guess. You won. And that's how I felt when I saw him do it. And I was like, good, now you're going to go in the Hall of Fame. You're going to get your jersey hung now because you just got $25,000. But then he flexed like, you still lost by 16 points. So I was like, this kind of all feels like Vince Carter to me.
Yeah, I guess that is pretty fitting that like Vince Carter like has these like major achievements, but he's also like on Atlanta. You know what I mean? That's purposely tanking. That is a pretty he's had definitely a weird winding road.
I was there for the reverse alley. That like I know you know exactly what game I'm talking about. It's a playoff game. I was sitting in the building for that. So before I didn't hate him, but after that I was like, you know what, man, you can't just come back here and start styling again.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like you can't come back. Him and like T-Mac leaving getting scored.
His Toronto flair did hurt.
Why did you leave and do better?
Yeah,
it's not cool.
But that's just it. He acted like he's like, we're like, you don't need to prove anything to us. We know you can do that. You just didn't while you were here at the end. And that was really.
And we're also like watching, all the games. You're not really like lighting everyone else up the same way, sir. Okay. Speaking of superstar talent, I think a lot of people, I probably put myself in this camp, think he's better than Vince. Best Raptor ever. We will see. There's going to be a lot of ways to slice that. But I mean, like, closest to potentially winning the MVP type player. Again, it's probably debatable with Vince. But Kawhi. Kawhi versus Pop. That's kind of what I want to talk about. It's not really a major storyline, I don't think. But it is something, and there's a lot of like kind of undercurrents. Jason, I'll go to you first on this.
Sure.
Well, have you heard kind of what's been said? And what I want to get at is, do you think Kawhi is a leader? And I guess, do you think he's a good leader?
Well, I don't think he has to be honest. Like, if you look back to when he won the MVP in 2014, like the finals MVP, it was like he wasn't the leader of that team.
No, it's Duncan.
I feel like on the Raptors, he just has to be, that like classic cartoon dogs that are like, you just got the big, slow one that never says a word, and he just kind of walks down the street. But then you got the little yippy one that jumps all over him.
Yeah,
it's like Lowry's that little yippy. Lowry can be the leader, like the emotional leader.
They are a nice kind of tandem leadership, and I talked about it. Like, that was one of my big questions in the summer. Like, how is that going to work? And but sorry, go on.
Yeah, I don't know, because come playoff time, that's all that matters. And Kawhi's been there. I don't know if like Lowry's obviously not proven his leadership skills in the playoffs, but like I feel like having Leonard just there in the background being like, all right, guys, let's go. Come on. I've got personality. Like, we'll be fine. We've got this guy that was the 2014 MVP playoff or finals MVP. So we're great.
So, I guess, what do you feel about, just to follow up, Jason, what do you feel about like Pop's quote? Obviously it was, like I feel like the most salacious part got taken out, or like, was the headline, which was that, he lacks leadership qualities, but in the larger interview, Pop does say that he thinks that potentially Kawhi can get there. But when Kawhi was in San Antonio, it was Manu and Parker and Duncan. And that's all true. I guess what I'm kind of wondering, though, is why? Why say this at all? I feel like Pop has a weird stake in it, and that's the undercurrent of the story. But sorry, go on, Jason.
I just feel like this is the first time that Popovich has been denied, like this is like an ex-girlfriend coming out and being like, or ex-boyfriend coming out and being like, well, I don't know if he's that great. It's like, well, your opinion, you're always straight forward with what you say, but like Kawhi was really the first one to ever be like, I'm out of here to San Antonio. So I'm sure like that led to that a little bit, where he probably has a little bit of animosity towards Kawhi.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a blight on Pop's career.
You think so,
Matt? What's your take on Kawhi, Pop, leadership, everything?
Well, first of all, you don't really get he didn't like the chance to lead. He was hurt that time. You know what I mean? Like during this when he was MVP, Finals MVP. Think about who you're talking about. You're talking about Tim Duncan. You're talking about like Manu Ginobili, like top 50 potentially guys that you could put. So the room for leadership probably wasn't even there, that mantle. And then, right after that, those guys leave, he gets hurt. Then there's that drama, right? So you bring him here. There's no real one leader on any team anymore. You know what I mean? Because now everyone's trying to construct these super squads where there are lots of voices, but they have to be workable, collective voices. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like you said, I think it's a good little team. Like that's a good 2-on-2. Like your NBA Jam team, Kawhi and Kyle. That's a good.
That is
squad
a good
to
team.
have.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I
a
mean?
tough team too. Yeah,
you'll move with that. So why not? Be nice to him. He's a quiet guy. You know what I mean? He fits what Toronto needs. You know what I mean?
Do you think he's a good leader?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. And I think if we,
I mean, he orchestrates a lot on defense. He talks quite a bit, which is seems weird, but if you watch the games, like
and you trust him,
you hear Kawhi's voice.
Yeah, when he's on the court, he's making good decisions
for sure.
So I don't see any lack of leadership qualities, anything alarming.
And well, let's just here's a follow up for you, Matt. How do you feel about like lead by example versus
that's
kind of like lead vocally?
That's all it is now, because now we're seeing Kevin Durant's problems. You know what I mean? Like it's not to say we all know how good KD is.
Yeah.
But it's like Stephen Curry's out, and now there's division. Because those guys aren't following KD. You know what I mean? He's good, but he's not the leader. Kawhi, I think, like
look
you said,
at Washington with Wall, right?
That's right.
No, leadership's like it's a big kind of like theme this
Just
year.
because you're talented doesn't mean that you get to be the captain. You know what I mean? Because you have to be making those proper decisions, those tough decisions, and if you mess up with the decisions, be able to take the heat. And you know what? Kawhi was taking it there in San Antonio for a bit.
Well, and he bounced it off his foot here, right?
That's right.
He's giving interviews. He's not like dodging things. He's like owning up. So I feel like we've had a lot of good leadership in Toronto with DeRosse and Lowry. Although I've had some gripes about Lowry's leadership over the years, but I think Kawhi is a pretty like rock solid type of figure you want at the front of your franchise.
For sure.
Jason, I'm gonna go to you on this one. Speaking of like someone who's just freaking amazing all the time, Pascal Siakam is having an insane year. He's running the break. Teams are terrified. He's always a mismatch. We've basically had to talk about him every single episode, even though it's a weekly podcast, because he's that good. You can't ignore the season that Pascal's having. My question is, a little bit of a thought exercise. Considering, it's basically like JV, Ibaka, Pascal, Lowry, Danny, and Kawhi. Who's the seventh guy? Like, who's the guy that you really hope, if you had magic powers, you could kind of like turn into as rock solid as Pascal?
For me, I would probably say OG. Because we've got him locked for so long on such a good contract. Like some of the other guys, like Van Fleet and Wright, like I believe this is their last year, and then like they could see you later, or we'd have to sign up for a bunch more if they have a great season.
Yeah,
so
right.
OG is like
Wright's expiring. Fred is this year and next year for 9 a year. And then OG. I mean, I'll sorry, go on. I'll actually just look it up.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, because, I mean, the guy's young and he's amazing. And so, like, if he can progress and start killing it, then we've got this awesome link. Like, Siakam and OG on the floor at the same time, just standing in front of, I just have to stand in the key. Like, you basically can cover the whole floor. It's amazing.
Man, Siakam OG is such a bright future. So OG we have till 2021. And then in 21-22... I think, is it a team option or is it a player option?
It's still cheap, I believe, too. Like, it's still
we have a qualifying offer. We have OG locked up for this year, basically, and two more years plus likely, a qualifying offer. I think OG's a pretty good choice. Matt, how you feeling?
Freddie is smooth, man. Like
steady Freddie,
and his game is it's just getting better every time. I think he's.
when Freddie is running the show, and I love saying that name because it makes me feel cool
for sure.
I'm a loser. Everyone who listens to this, I'm a freaking loser. Okay. No, when Freddie's running the show, it does feel like, like we have everything under control.
That's right. The backup guard, he's the real six man, you want. The guy coming in for Lowry wholeheartedly, it should it looks and feels like Fred VanVleet is the. That's why we call him Freddie, because I don't know how to say the last.
I know.
If they say Van Fleet,
it's VV. Think about it like that. Van Vliet.
No
you
way.
want to say Fleet, you know?
Yeah, I've been saying Fleet for a while, but Freddie's nice.
Yeah.
And when he comes in the game, your heart doesn't sink into your chest type deal. You feel that he's going to come in and keep consistency. And, the other guys, they're all right, but I feel Freddie's, he's going to be coming with that consistency the most in the future anyways.
Yeah. I think that's pretty solid choices on both of your parts. I guess Delon, it's just a little less likely, and he's kind of this unique defensive player, but he's been playing awesome these past couple games. Like he had a couple nice putbacks in that Miami game last night, and pretty lockdown defense. And he's actually one of the only guys on the team that are shooting above league average from three. It's on a pretty small sample size, and I think only 1.8 attempts a game, which is not great. But he's hitting them at a pretty good 40%. So that's awesome. I feel like we can transition out of Raptors. You guys got any other Raptor things you feel like chiming in, Matt or Jason?
No, well, the only thing I was going to say too is it's awesome that we have this bench, that we're known for such an awesome bench, but it's going to come to play against I don't know if you want to start talking playoffs, obviously, but the one of the things when we come around,
I've been talking playoffs since July, man.
That's all I care about.
Yeah, I've literally been I'm not worried about the Celtics. How do we match up against G State since 2 weeks after the Kawhi trade? So I'm a maniac. So don't worry about that.
I said, Kawhi, take a break till January, bro. Take a vacation, 100%. See the country. You know what I mean? Go look around. We don't need you.
See the country.
It's time for you to come back in jail just before playoff time because it's a good team. Yeah, it's a promising team. Even
where would you if you could just design a three stop itinerary for Kawhi to fall in love with the country?
We'll send him to Montreal for sure.
Yeah,
some good stops there.
Quebec City, too small.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Bring him to the West Coast. Go to Whistler or something.
Sea to Sky Highway. You got to take him on that.
Yeah. Okay. All right, man.
I can show him around.
And
it's just there.
And then on an off day, come with me to Pam's Roti.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're good. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Lock him down.
That's the best roti in the city.
It's the best. Yeah. It's the best, baby. Pam, if you're listening, and I know you are, I love you. The new location's great. Definitely.
Stop moving locations. That's all. Stop moving locations.
Yeah, it's hard out here, though. Jason. Gladstone Library, new location. Check out Pam's Roti. It is delicious. Matt, why don't you give me that NBA sting?
NBA National Basketball Association.
So that means we're going to talk about the NBA.
Cool. Yeah, I see. Could we do something can I just make a suggestion?
Yeah, sure.
Something a little less nerdy.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
okay.
The way that's said, it just seems like you're entering a gymnasium, announcing to the school, I'm a nerd. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, loosen my pants a little bit. I guess,
just chill. Okay. Cool. Why don't you tell me something I don't know about Omar Cook?
Okay, well, he only played 22 games in the NBA, 5 of those with Toronto in 2004, and then that was it. But did you know that he shares a distinction with NBA All-Stars Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, and Kyrie Irving?
No.
As being former McDonald's All-Americans who turned pro after 1 year of college. And
so he's a one and done.
Yeah, he was a one and done in college, but he's used as a cautionary tale to players now to encourage them to stay in college.
Oh, no.
Because he wasn't ready to go to the NBA after 1 year. His shot was terrible. And
we drafted him, the Raptors?
No, we didn't know. No, he just got signed to a 10-day contract in 2004 with Raptors.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but
he got drafted.
He's still playing. He's still playing in Europe. I think he plays in Spain.
Okay.
Yeah, so
All
he's still going.
So it's not like a full cautionary tale. It's like this guy's
I think
he's gallivanted through Europe making lots of money.
I mean, I think if you compare him to those stars, he had a lot more promise.
Yes.
Did you know he's a naturalized Montenegrin?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt. This is
Okay.
you're like rocking out here. This is big.
I have learned a lot today, boys. I really have.
Yeah.
I didn't know a man could get disqualified from a team in only 22 games. And like, is he doing like speeches now? Like, does he go up?
No, he's still playing. He's still playing. He's probably 36. He's 82. So
Cool.
82. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
This
knew
is the worst cautionary tale.
I know.
He's
It's a
doing
pretty
great.
soft landing on this cautionary tale.
It's kind of like it's like if a cop showed up at your school and gave you like all the negatives of marijuana, but then you're like, yeah, but it feels good, right? You're like, yeah.
And
I
then the
guess.
cop's like, yeah. Cheers.
And it won't kill me? No, but cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
A pretty weak cautionary tale. I agree.
But you know what? I must say I'm pretty impressed. I didn't know much about Omar Cook, so it wasn't a massive challenge. But you got something else?
Well, no, just that's all I have for him. But
the last ones. You gonna hit me hard?
I've got more because I did a current roster last week and I fell real flat with Pascal Siakam.
Okay.
So
okay. Well, yeah. We'll get there.
We'll get there. Let's talk some NBA, please.
Let's talk some NBA, please. Wow. Okay. Things are getting dark around here. Please, he says. Ouch. Well, you know what? I do run a tight ship. Says literally no one who listens to this podcast. Thank you if you listen to the podcast. Matt, let's start with you. Who's surprising you more? The Grizzlies, the Clippers, or the Kings?
I don't want to say the Clippers. Maybe they're playing. All those teams are playing real loose, and all the teams we expected to play real good are playing real confused right now. And I think they're just taking advantage. That's what you're going to have to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to make the playoffs, so you're going to have a good start, right?
And I think they feel like, LeBron and company are getting too much love, too much. And these are, it's not to say that these teams are all brand new. You know what I mean? They're units that have been together for a decent amount of time, and especially the Clippers. You know what I mean? Like they got rid of those main pieces, but the core of it is generally pretty much the same.
They got a lot of people playing well. I'm just looking at it now. The Clippers are first in the West at 13-6, and so pretty awesome start. Is that who's impressing you most?
The most.
The Grizzlies 12-7, which they're fourth in the West right now, and the Kings have dropped to 10th, but they're still 10-10, which I think is kind of impressive for Sacramento, right?
Darren Fox can ball, man. Yeah. That's what I know. And I think that team's only going to get better because he's going to get better. He's playing with a chip on his shoulder. So, but yeah, the Clippers for sure.
Clippers. Jason, who's impressing you most out of these three Western teams?
No question. It's the Clippers because it's literally like, I mean, they had Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, and Chris Paul, and they're like, oh, these guys are going to be huge. They're so close to being huge. And then you take away the 3 stars, you have 0 all-stars on the team, and you're in first place over possibly the best team to ever play in the history of basketball.
Yeah, they're 8-1 at home.
Yeah, just looking at that.
It's insane. It's like in the Beatles, you're like, hey, man, we're going to take away John, Paul, and George, and Ringo, you're going to go by yourself, and then he's the best musician ever.
That's the best comparison. Like, I feel like the Clippers is like they're like broken social scene. You know what I mean? They're like, you know what?
Yeah.
Independently, no one here is super famous. Let's smash this all together and fucking rock out. Know what I mean? And people are like, this band's pretty good.
That's a regular run-of-the-mill guys, but you need those run-of-the-mill guys in the back. Somebody's got to play the tambourine.
Yeah, like how many people were in Baby Blue Sound Crew? I don't know. A lot. You know what I mean? A lot. But we had a good time.
It kind of happened it kind of happened with the Black Eyed Peas. Were like, hey, we'll take away like everybody who you were, and we'll just leave Fergie, and then she became like huge. Yeah. So kind of the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that we got back to that. Jason, I'm gonna hit you first on this. You know what? But by the way, my answer is actually the Grizzlies because I just kind of like that they're throwing a curveball to the rest of the league. They're really running up the shot clock. Their every possession takes such a long time. Their defense is always set. Mark Gasol, I think I forget where I heard this. It might have been Adrian Wojnarowski, but he has the best real plus minus in the NBA right now. Mark
Whoa.
Gasol. Yeah. So he's having a huge year. And I think people forgot about Conley and Gasol. And I don't even know who's coaching Memphis. Like, that's what's impressing me, too. Is it JB Bickerstaff?
I did get upset with him when they got rid of Fizdale. I'm like, I'm out, bro.
Yeah.
I don't need to deal with Memphis anything
Hey, man,
anymore.
take that for data. Okay, so, but yeah, for me, it's the Grizzlies, but I'm impressed by all three teams. But yeah, Jason, here's a question that, obviously we're all not like crazy stat analytics dudes, but we can kind of take a stab at this, I guess.
Okay.
It's the highest pace since the 80s scoring wise. And it's just weird watching games. Like actually Matt Devlin, the real Matty D. Sorry, Matty D.
We're both real.
Yeah, you're both real, but he's like realer. You know what I mean? No, he was talking about it like crazy again in that Heat game. That like a 10-point lead isn't really a 10-point lead, and yeah, I guess my question is like, what is it now, Jason? Like, what's a big comfortable lead that you wouldn't imagine a team would come back from?
When the starting whistle goes when you're playing the Hawks, I guess. You're like, well, they might come back. Who knows? But I would say it could even be doubled at this point where you're like, this game's wrapped up and I can change the channel and maybe it is or maybe it isn't.
Like, is it 15 points where like, you got a 15-point lead in the fourth and you're like, no worries?
No.
Or is that even like, a couple threes?
I feel like it's 20. I think it's like you got to get up to 20, I feel like, at this point to be like, for me to turn the TV off, it's got to be like 20 in the fourth quarter, I think. And you're like, maybe the same's kind of dead. But 15, you're still like, they can get it down to single digits by 5-minute mark. You're still like, or even the 3-minute mark. You're still
it's true.
Easily perfect.
Because if you have 2 stops, 2 threes in a row, that's just going to be like impactful in any scenario, and you can do that.
Oh, if you're playing the Warriors, it's 30. They proved it, right? Like if you're playing the Warriors, it's 30 points you got to be up by before you feel comfortable, or even close to comfortable.
Matt, what's your take on this one? Like, what are leads now in this new scoring?
If I was looking at it as a 2K, like the NBA 2K rules, like some it depends on what hood you're from. Some people are 14, other people are 21.
Yeah,
and then I could change the channel. But the Raptors are different, bro. Like in them in particular, like they blow leads in grand fashion sometimes. Right. So I don't really know. For them,
so you're coming from an inner Raptors perspective of a tormented fan, which I get.
And they have heard me many times, like, I'm going to leave the house, Raps up by 19, let me get some rest. We'll get up, in the morning, Raps lose by 6. What happened with this? But what I'm saying is, for everybody else, 20, you're feeling okay. But if it's, with it being such a 3-point shooting league, no one's really coming down and working the paint like that. So if you have to cover the perimeter the whole time, and if you're lackadaisical, for, like you just said, a couple possessions, automatically, you're just giving it away.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to, like, I haven't really gotten, like, a full handle on, like, what I feel like a comfortable lead is, because even watching that Miami game, they came back, but I don't know if they ever got it really, like, much closer than, what was it, like 5-6 points? So I just kind of felt like they were tiring themselves out on the comeback, and Kawhi would do his thing, and we'd get some key buckets. But I guess we do have Detroit as a fresh memory. Lost that close game against the Celtics. They came back on us there. So, and of course, as a Raptors fan, I do understand just the straight up deep trauma of the whole thing. Okay, let's here's a fun one. I'll start with you on this one, Matt. Who is going to be a first-time All-Star?
A first-time All-Star?
First time.
That's a good question. Maybe there may be some sleeping Raptors now.
There might be some Raptors, right?
That have to hop in there.
For sure.
But it's the picks this year, right? So who are the captains?
Right. Well, I think the way it works, if I'm not mistaken, is the fans and coaches still vote, the players like by conference,
and then the captains are picking
and then the
starters.
captains actually make the teams. Jason, do you have anyone that like pops into your head? We can do a quick rundown too of the likely all-stars so we can figure it out. But
well, I think what might be awesome this year is what if it's Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon, because they're both possibles, and like this could be like they were probably in the best dunk contest showdown only a couple of years ago, and they could be on the same team. Because if you go in the
Zach
West,
LaVine is having a massive a stat year. I don't know like what his like efficiency is and all that kind of thing, but I know just like counting stats. Here, I'm gonna find him here. He's averaging 25.5 points a game, which is
I like Aaron Gordon as an all-star too. Now that I think about it, he's man. But see, those are two teams that they're not like really worrisome. But the East, like, who really are you worried about yet in that bottom five? You know what I mean? Because I feel like even the Knicks right now have the number 8 spot or something crazy like that, and I need them to get Zion.
What about Chris Middleton? Never been an all-star. He's on the second team in the
West, right?
Yeah. No, he's in the East. He's in Milwaukee.
That's what I mean. There's got to be at least 2 guys on Milwaukee. Giannis is going.
Well, right? Giannis for sure.
So who else?
But I think Milwaukee, is probably going to be like first or second in the East.
That's right.
And the Raptors are going to have 2 all-stars for sure.
Kyrie goes, but then I don't think Hayward is an all-star right now.
Oh man, Boston. That's a dark conversation for Boston fans, because I think Boston's getting 1 all-star. And it's arguable, but Kyrie will just get voted in.
Yeah.
But with the way Kemba's playing,
man.
Wait a second, has Kemba been an all-star?
Yes, yeah, he has.
He has. Okay,
I think so. Yeah.
Or is he the type of guy that we just assume has been an all-star because we know him so well?
I don't know.
Guys, I'm having a quick look. Kemba Walker, all-star. I feel like he might have got in one year when there was like an injury.
Sounds about right. He's been playing ball.
He's a 2-time all-star.
Nice.
So we were right on that thought there. I was kind of thinking
there's
Siakam
more fringe
too.
guys.
Sorry, go ahead.
If there's more fringe guys, like the West is really interesting, but it's going to be so hard to get in the West. But you got like Tobias Harris or De'Aaron Fox or even Harrell, like, because the Clippers, like you said, there's these 3 teams exceeding expectations, and some of them have like no all-stars on their team, for guys that have never been all-stars before.
Well, you want to know, I just looked up too, and I'm like, I can't believe this, but I think that Mike Conley of the Grizzlies has never been an all-star.
No way.
Good luck, man. Like, I remember Zebo even struggling to do it, and it shouldn't have been struggling.
There, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's not even that. It's the popular guys. You know what I mean? Like the movie star, celebrity type guys are out on that side, while the East is a little more. You got to be watching ball to know what's going on.
Yeah, well, there are some sneaky stars. So there's Embiid, Giannis.
So does Jimmy Butler go for you? Do you think he's going to be on the All-Star team?
I think Jimmy Butler is probably going to make it. Yeah, I do. I think if Philly's record is, if they're like for some reason 5th or 6th in the East at the time, it might be kind of weird.
Yep.
And Ben Simmons didn't make it last year. So actually, Ben Simmons is a really good candidate for what we're talking about. First time All-Star, Ben Simmons. Sorry, I just leaned away.
No,
from
that
the mic
Kardashian
like
curse might, I don't know, hopefully that doesn't mess with him.
Yeah. You know what? We're going to move on to some quickish questions. So, Matt, can you give me the old sting, baby boo?
Quickish questions.
You think you're so cool.
Before we start our quickish questions, we forgot to say this off the top of the show, but we have some exciting news on the podcast. We are now doing writing content that you can go to our website and read some sports articles. Mm-hmm. Our first one done by co-founder and former co-host, Kevin Dowse.
That's right. It's on chemistry, so make sure you head to the podcast.
Dunkspodcast.com.
Check it out. You know?
It's great. A lot of people have been clicking on it, so it's good.
While you're there, rate, review, poke
iTunes,
around stuff, like bump our algorithms. You know what I mean? If you're the real life Mr. Robot, like give us a friendly hack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So like let's cheat our way to the top. You know what I mean?
Cheat our way.
Fuck. Okay, so
tell you something you don't know.
Oh, I'm getting there, baby.
About
Matt. Why don't you tell me something I don't know about Greg Monroe, the Moose?
The Moose. Okay, I'll get to where that nickname comes from because I know it's driving a lot of our listeners mad.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Did you know he's left-handed? But no, wait. He plays basketball left-handed, but is actually right-handed.
I didn't know that, Matt.
Yeah,
huge fact.
Oh, baby, he's another McDonald's All-American. Okay. Last year when he was on the Celtics, he had a triple-double coming off the bench, and he was the first Celtic to do that in over 30 years. Did you know that?
I do remember the triple-double. Don't remember that it was a 30-year thing.
Yeah, first coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about
the left-handed, right-handed thing.
Oh, you like that
sick,
one, eh?
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, keep going.
Okay, so he's nicknamed Moose, and it was because one of his classmates in high school wrote it on the chalkboard in class, I guess like Greg Moose Monroe. Okay. And then it was later included on a poster that he brought with him to university. Aha.
Oh.
And in university, his teammate was DeJuan Summers, who he then played with on the Pistons, and that's how I got to the NBA.
Wow.
DeJuan Summers.
So, like, it wasn't just him.
It sounds like he was trying to avoid it as much as he could.
Okay.
That's what I got from it.
I like it.
You like that?
I like how nicknames work like that. You know, people trying to avoid it. Like, I think I remember hearing a story of Tim Duncan being like, I want you to call me Merlin. And then people were like, no. That's so nerdy. We're not doing it.
Because no matter what you say, once you say, I want you to call me this, we're not calling it.
That's true.
KD's got a really bad one. He was like, the server. Call me the server because I serve all the fans. And everyone's like, wait, you want us to like picture you as like a really effective waiter?
Yeah.
Like, no, buddy. Like, let us call you Durantula and move on. I don't think that's stuck. You know, he's one of those initial nicknames, which are like
the server is horrible.
I'd say the last
the server is horrible, isn't it?
Start calling that
it's
now.
brutal.
The server.
The last fact I have on him is, did you know that his family had to flee Louisiana during Hurricane Katrina?
I didn't know that. It's very sad.
But then they came back, and he won in the state championship for his high school. Greg Monroe.
Wait.
Like, they came back after like a month and a half. They didn't.
But how did... Oh, wait. So wait, Greg Monroe was in Louisiana during Hurricane Katrina?
He's from Louisiana, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a pretty remarkable story.
Yeah.
Matt, you fucking rocked out. Man. This is huge.
I felt like I was going to end on a high note.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm dropping a lot of sneaky F-bombs. I saw one of that FM player things that says we're explicit. I'm like, oh, dear.
Ooh.
It's probably because of me. Because it's just a casual, but that was
we are marked as explicit.
Yeah, tell me something I don't know segment. Massive success this week.
An explicit Raptors content.
Yeah.
I got to give me some of that.
Okay, we don't have many questions,
all right.
But that just makes the stakes all the higher.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense.
All the higher, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I speak weird, okay? That's why I run a podcast. That's what you do when you have speech impediment and stuff. Yeah. You rock out on a pod. Thank you.
It always calms you down. When you hear
it does calm me down. I'm a very sensory. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the question. You got to answer as quick as you possibly can. That's the only rule. Matt, I'm gonna start with you. We'll go Matt, Jason, like that.
Okay.
All right. So Matt, it's come from Kevin. Favorite real or made-up leadership tactic employed by Kawhi?
Real or fake leadership tactic?
It's like answerer's choice.
I don't know. I don't think there are any fake leadership tactics. You know what I mean? I know what that is. So
like what if he winks at everyone like too much? But
I feel it's maybe the sweep back of the braids. You know what I mean? Like if he runs his hands through the cornrows a little bit, set the pick. You know what I mean?
Oh, like signals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I like that.
Something with the braids.
That's
Nobody
good.
keeps cornrows like that for no reason.
That's great. Okay, I like that. Yeah, that's great. I'm really getting into there in my head. Matt.
Yeah.
Matty D.
Matty D.
It's coming from James.
Yeah.
Will the Raptors maintain first in the East the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think they will. I think there might be a little time where it switches, maybe with the Bucks if they keep hot. But I think they're going to be primarily in first place. Can you get that out of here, please?
You know what? You didn't play that as sound effect, and you're like, anyways. Okay, whatever. Moving on. Jason, this one's coming from another Matt McCready. He says in the group where I post the questions, he says, "Why did Jason DeRosse leave this group?"
Oh,
Because I was never in it.
Ooh.
Can't leave something you're not in.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Matt, where are you in the sound effect there?
Get that garbage out of here!
That's huge. We'll have you together on one episode, and I'm sure you'll fist fight. Okay. Matt, also coming from Matt again. What would you trade for Markelle Fultz?
For Markelle Fultz?
Yeah. And this is from a league sense.
Oh, I was gonna say a bag of whatever you got for Markelle Fultz because I don't want Markelle Fultz.
You're out.
Yeah, I don't want him.
You're out.
No.
Okay. Well, Matt Duncan, what would you trade for Markelle Fultz if you were the Raptors?
Oh, if I was the Raptors, I think I would trade Norm. Why not?
Yeah?
Let's do a little shake up there.
You wouldn't be like, hey, Malachi?
Well, is he that low that he'd
No,
be...
I think Markelle Fultz is a bit higher than Malachi Richardson right now.
He was a top draft pick, was he not?
He was first overall.
Yeah,
God.
Okay, Jason. I know, yeah. Honestly, like, stories move fast in the NBA. Nice one. Okay, Jason. This is the last question of the pod. Yeah, stakes are high, baby. Okay. It's from Yao. The Raptors Spurs should have been a Christmas game, right?
Yep.
That's the easy one. Yeah, it should have been. I think everybody cursed that and said that the day it came out.
Yep.
So the day everything was listed, everyone was like, yeah, right, this is a joke, right? Like, and then, yeah, so easy question.
Easy
100%.
question. Knock it out of the park. Well, that's it for the pod. Thanks everyone for listening. Thank you guys for doing it. Jason, we'll go to you first. You're in LA. What's going on?
Yep.
Are you doing any shows? Is there, should anyone check you out anywhere?
Yeah,
We're doing shows here, but I think the best place to check me out is because it's also a basketball podcast. Is you just did a web series with us not too long ago.
That's right.
So if you want, check out Any Given Weeknight about recreational basketball. You can find it. We've just uploaded it to YouTube. It's just a YouTube thing, but like Any Given Weeknight, Freddie stars in episode 4.
I'm
I think.
Spumoni.
Oh, I know. I watched it.
It's amazing.
Hilarious.
I get to play basketball. And be a bastard.
Yeah, you're a real hot shot.
Oh, I'm like a hot shot. I'm the biggest
You're
loser.
like a hot shot ringer, right? That they bring in and they're like...
Yeah, but I'm a hardcore loser.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. In my head, as soon as I walked into the hangar, as soon as I walked into the hangar, I'm like, guess who's a loser today? Me. Sorry, I'm just walking.
We've all played with that kind of person.
But any given weeknight, check it out. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
You did a really good job, Jason. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. It was so great having you.
We should play basketball like not in front of cameras sometime.
Oh, that's nice.
Come down to LA. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll come down to LA just to play you in basketball. I'm rich. See you in 5 hours. Matt, you got anything? You're doing shows all the time?
Yeah, just go to Comedian Matt Henry, Facebook.com/Comedian Matt Henry. I'm a photographer too now.
Woo!
By the way, that's the thing I do. So if you guys...
diversifying the portfolio.
Man, I just got to eat somehow. So I thought I'd do some more art.
Yeah, man.
That's the Canadian way.
Yeah.
More art.
More art.
Equals more money. That's...
where can people find your photography? Or
all is good on Facebook. So if you go Facebook.com/Comedian Matt Henry, I'm all right.
Check it out. Check the shows.
Show info's
Check
all
the
there too.
photos. Woo!
All right.
Bada boom.
Thank you all so much, and we'll be back. I believe it's whichever day next week on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday doesn't have a Raptors game.
Be Tuesday.
Okay. See you next Tuesday. Thanks for listening to the pod.
Hello.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Can anyone around here speak basketball?
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.